Hi, this is Caravan Palace.
And you're listening Recess with Spinelli.
You are listening to Recess with Spinelli, WSPN, Skidmore Radio, Saratoga Springs, and HOXTON FM, London, England. And today we are here with Zoe and Arnold of the Paris, France electro swing group CARAVAN PALACE here in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Now, the first thing that comes to mind is off your brand new album, which I guess could be called Robot Face. You guys chose to use an emoji of sorts as the album title. Is this a way of just kind of testing your fans to see if they could figure out what the title is?
Yeah, at the beginning it was just a mistake, an email mistake. Someone wanted to put an emoji and type it wrong, so another one said, yeah, it looks like a robot, so said, yeah, funny. So we're gonna take this for the title and no name, and just let the fans find the name for us.
There's almost like a theme of robots through the whole thing, or at least this one particular robot. So where did that fascination come from, and how does it kind of work in with the music? And has it become like an official mascot for the band in a way?
I guess that robot, they're like the symbol of technology. But at the beginning it was a sort of an old robot coming out from science fiction movies, like the vintage ones. They're pretty funny. They're supposed to be scary or very high tech, and they're actually not. So we thought it was almost like our music. It's a mix between something that could be technologic but also fun and just funny mascot.
So do you guys have an affinity for science fiction as well then?
Yeah. But yeah, I must admit those old sci-fi movies are a little boring, very slow, and yeah, she was saying the robots are a little ridiculous.
Which is cool.
So yeah, it's not scary, it's more funny, but yeah, we like sci-fi.
It's like what we can try to do. Let's pretend we're badass, but we're not. It's like same for us.
Are there any other older styles or any other old subjects that catch your attention that you somehow try to work into your performance, your music, or anything else?
Well, obviously dance a little bit, because with one of the band member we learned Lindy Hop and then Charleston together. At the beginning it was more like a joke. We just wanted to try couple dancing, so we started with rock and roll, and after a while we thought that it was okay, but the music was like the same all the time and a bit boring. So then we wanted to check if there were something you could dance on swing music, and we discovered Lindy Hop, also because some people in our in the audience are usually dancing, and we discovered this actually in Greece in a concert. And we're like, what were these guys doing? We can't remember. So we started to check and figure out that it was Lindy Hop. And then we started the classes and we had fun. And now we're sharing a lot of music and parties with the Lindy Hop community around the world. And it's very cool.
There's been a few videos I've seen online where you're doing some dancing and you're singing afterwards. Is that Lindy Hop? Some of the more popular videos?
When it's solo dancing, it's more Charleston. But when we do couple dance, it's called Lindy Hop. It's swing dancing mixed with a lot of different influences. I'm not a specialist, so you should ask people that know how to talk about it better than I.
Now, it definitely looks like it takes a lot of energy doing the dancing and then singing afterwards. So how do you maintain all that energy throughout the entire show without overexhausting yourself?
It depends who, but for her, who is main dancer, she's sleeping a lot.
Yeah, I do.
And she tried not to talk too much in the day, just to keep the voice great. And what else?
I try to eat good, like I do some natural orange juice routine on mornings, and like potions, magical potions like ginger and cinnamon and honey and stuff like this. Yes, plus sleeping is the key.
How do you keep each show interesting for yourself? What do you do to keep it new and fresh?
We are trying to change the songs the more we can. Not every day, but like when we are feeling a little bored with the title, we're trying to do something else. Maybe sometimes the audience can be a little surprised, because some people like to hear the song the same like on the album, but we're trying to go further and make some new electronic parts which won't fit well on an album, but longer versions and stuff like this.
And then also there's a very specific energy. It depends the size of the venue. If it's in Canada it's a bit different than in the US, we can feel a different energy sometimes, and we try to be connected with this energy, this particular one. In Montreal, people were like, they're kind of crazy, and a girl made a joke. She threw a bra on stage, so then it was like it was the first time it happened. So we were like, oh, okay, very funny. So I put it on the microphone, comme tu dis, stand. And then, I was like, oh, I don't know where to put it, so maybe we should have another one for this other stand. And so another girl sent, and then at the end it was raining bras on stage, literally. So, yes, we tried to, and I challenged the girl because it was like very specific from the city.
Now, do you always find some unique way to interact with the crowd, whether it's getting bras thrown on stage or some other method?
It has to be spontaneous. If you try to fake it, it's uncool, absolutely, or bad taste, or just have to feel what's happening right here, right now.
How did you get involved in this? Are you classically trained in jazz or swing or anything like that, or did you fall into this at some point?
No, at first we were playing jazz and swing music, mainly gypsy music, like Django Reinhardt and stuff like that. And at the same time we were doing some electronic music on computers and everything, more trip-hop at this time, but then house music. Then we mixed all together, and that's it. And you got a classical?
Yeah, I started with classical music. I played the clarinet and the lyrical singing for a while. Then I started to learn jazz vocal, and then I also started to produce my own songs with like computers and stuff. And then this is when we met each other. So we all had this similar, different influences, love of classical, jazz, and popular music, electronical music. My first band was actually a funk band, and some people in the band also are familiar to this style, like Charles or whatever. So yeah, everyone has different influences. I get this is why we get along well together, because we're not like one type of music nerd, we kind of like mix everything.
Do you think that by combining electronic music with jazz can bring it to a larger audience or make it more accessible to more people?
Yeah, and sometimes in Caravan we are using samples of old tracks. That's funny because most of the time our fans don't know the track where the sample come from, but after they can they look for it, so they are coming to that old music, very classical jazz most of the time, and I think maybe it's a way to let them discover all that kind of music. Yeah.
Sometimes also, like now, social medias are really strong, like SoundCloud and Spotify and stuff. So we try to put some playlists also sometimes, and we try to mix all the time new music and oldies. This is also how we like to share music and our influences. We always try to mix them both.
I feel like with a lot of electro swing, especially with some of the DJs, you definitely have a repetition of a lot of older samples. There aren't too many bands that really do much original stuff, which that definitely seems like where you guys come into play. So what do you add to it that's new, still keeping that older, that more traditional feel while still keeping it, new and fresh and making it original all at the same time?
As you said, we try to play a lot of stuff on stage, not like DJs just putting on the vinyls or the samples. We really try to play them. If we use on the album a sample for something, violin or whatever, then on stage we play it for real all the time, and we change it a little bit. So I guess it's because we are real musicians that are doing that are part of the electronical scene, music scene. So it's pretty rare, I guess. No, not rare. C'est original. I guess that people from electronical music scene are playing a lot of different instruments, because there's a lot of different instruments on stage.
So would you say it's very important that, and especially the electro swing community, that instruments still remain a vital part of it, and it doesn't just become kind of a DJ culture?
Yeah, to keep it organic.
Yeah, it's not only in the electro swing scene. I think it's electronic scene. Yeah, lately people are going to concert and they are saying a DJ with some light, and we think it's cool to keep our very strong instrumental parts.
Real band, yes.
Yeah, to go. Comment dire contre-courant?
Sorry, we're so French.
Yeah, we'll feel a little bored with the DJ stuff soon. I don't know, maybe 10 years or 15. So it's good to keep musicians on stage. And
I guess that it happens with digital music. Now people are really into vinyls, for instance. They like to listen online music, but then they also like to buy vinyl. So I guess they would like to discover our music through the internet or whatever. But then when they will come to the concert, they will have the vinyl effect. Oh, this is a real band. They're playing real instruments. There's wood on stage, and this is what we try to be. We're not like old guys into old stuff. We're also like technology, but the cool thing is to keep the balance of this.
Just imagine a trip to a wonderful land, a candy.
When you guys did start this, I think it was around 2005, right? There wasn't really too many other folks at that time doing what you're doing. So was it odd being one of the few folks on the scene that were mixing old styles and new styles together?
So there were people doing this, but not entire albums. They were mostly doing some original tracks that had this electro swing style, and there were more DJs than bands. Plus, they were more doing covers than original songs. So I guess we were the first to do this, like an entire album of this crossover, plus being true real musicians, plus creating our own songs. So at this time, so I wasn't there at the time they started. The guys started this, but I'm pretty sure they didn't know what they were doing. That they weren't creating something. They were just trying to have fun and mix different influence. Because as Arnaud said, they were playing in a gypsy jazz band. Plus, they were producers and starting to do like trip hop or house music. So they had the opportunity for. Maybe you can explain this because I wasn't there this time for the Canal Plus thing.
That's a funny story. Yeah, it was with a famous channel in France. Was broadcasting some porn at night, and they wanted to do
vintage porn.
Yeah, vintage porn, like using illegal movie from the 20s, porn movies, and so they wanted some. It's funny. They wanted some original music on that. And because they wanted to do something neo-retro, they asked us to make something with gypsy music and electronic. That's how we began.
And then they played it for friends, and the friends said, "Oh, it's pretty cool. You should keep doing this." So they tried a few songs, and then an entire album, and then they found a producer, and this is how it started. So,
do you find that, or specifically for the electro swing genre, have you kind of been set as like almost a benchmark for live electro swing bands for other groups out there?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, everybody's aware about our energy on stage and everything, so they must think we made the good choice and we are going in the good direction. Sometimes we met some other electro swing band, and it was very, very so close to us, and that can be a little annoying. And they come to you saying, "Yeah, we are big fans. That's why we began our band." And you just want to say, "Yeah, but it's really
it's too similar."
Yeah, it's the same. So I don't know, because they are nice and you have to be nice, but they are like, stealing your ideas. So
You already done it, so that's fair. I mean, people would know that they didn't start at the. If they're enjoying what they do, I mean, it's okay if they do it. Music is to be shared, and people need fun. So if you have fun doing this, I mean, it happened to all the style of music. There's a lot of bands that have this problem out of electro swing scene. So it's, I don't know, when some band are doing something that excites people, they try to copy it. That's fair. I guess that's what we did with Django at the beginning.
Now, on stage, your music is definitely gets the audience moving, definitely seems to have a very happy vibe. So at the end of the day, what's the ultimate goal you want your audience to leave with?
To keep being interested in what we do and what we're going to do next. We just want them to be following us forever.
we want them, of course, to be very happy after the concert, and also very open-minded to new stuff we are doing. Because sometimes on the last album you can hear that we're trying to change a little, not doing always the same, like house tempo with odd samples, what defines electro swing, but to go in other directions. And so sometimes the fans don't understand that while listening to the album, but once they see that on stage, they can say, okay, now I understand where they're going, and if they are okay to come with us in that direction, that's cool.
So the ultimate goal is that they come back.
And before we go, is there anything else that you would like to add? Any final thoughts about anything that comes to your mind?
I'd like to see if some other musicians from other countries could be inspired by music to do some remixes, or I'm always pretty curious about that. Like, how do you feel? I mean, you as a musician, how do you feel about the music we're doing? Because this is also what we do. Like when we listen to these old samples and we're like, I'd like to put this like that, and da-da-da-da-da. So music is about to share and being excited about something you like. So I'm pretty curious about that. Other artists, how they feel the music we do, and if they're inspired by it, and to the point that they would do remixes, or I don't know. And hello, Mom. And that's it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN, Saratoga Springs, HOXTON FM, London, England, and we have been speaking to Caravan Palace out of France, and they have their new album, Robot Face, which is available now.